5 seconds remaining.
Alright, welcome everyone to another night of SCS. I, of course, am Niz, and you're watching NizCast. We don't have too many teams tonight, so despite starting once again in round 3, we're actually already into the quarterfinals, so we've got one round less than we normally do, which should set us up for 3 games to cast tonight. We've got Groovy Gaming playing on the dire side, and they're going to be going up against QQQ, if you're following the brackets, but they're going by the name of Top 5. As a few of these players used to play on Top 5. One of them is Shanks, who's going to be drafting for them, and I believe I played a pub game with Shanks, was it last night or this morning or something like that, so I recently played a pub game with him. I don't think we won that game, but but I did recently play with him. But yeah, I guess we'll get right into this. We had Mimic actually hop into the lobby and just get this ticketed. So it is an official ticketed match. So it's always nice to have that. But what do we got so far? We've got an Axe and a Bristleback getting banned out by Groovy Gaming, and then a Bat Rider and a Troll getting banned by Top 5. And immediately those bans, well, they scream Lion, Venge, Juggernaut. The 3 big heroes that made it through there. Even Lena to some extent. Those are like the big pickups. And Groovy Gaming says, screw that, we're not going with any of them. They pick up the OD, the Outworld Devourer first.
Dire team ban.
And, well, Top 5 says, you know what, we're going to go with Tried and True, and we're going to go with the Lion and the Juggernaut. And Groovy Gaming then goes with the Chen. So, although we actually don't see Chen all that often, Chen actually has one of the higher win rates of supports in this current meta. I don't remember exactly what position he is on that list, but I think he's up around like 4th or 5th. It's pretty high. It's a lot higher than you would expect. But
10
Chen
seconds remaining.
is pretty damn good. And on top of that, he's pretty good pick up against Juggernaut. Of course, when you've got an army of centaurs or whatever creeps you choose to go with, and Juggernaut runs in and tries to get an Omni Slash off, that just creates more targets for him to potentially jump to, and that means less damage on average to your team. So it's always a good pickup in that sense. Then you're also going to have the Hand of God to heal your teammates up if they did take a little bit of that extra damage. Maybe keep them out of lion finger range, just to keep everyone alive, and that's really what Chen's job is. Earlier on, he's able to put a lot more pressure on towers. Going to see if Groovy Gaming is going to be able to at least get a few Tier 1 towers and kind of snowball off that. Maybe even pick up the top Tier 2 relatively early on. But that will remain to be seen. Lion typically not the best wave clear support, so they may look to pick up a hero that is a little bit better at that. They do already have Juggernaut, and although he's not a support, he does actually handle wave clearing quite well. Although with the more recent build that people are going with Juggernaut and only 1 point in spin, that does actually hold him back a little bit in what he's able to do in terms of wave clear, or at least how quickly he's able to do it early on. Groovy Gaming have banned out their next 2 heroes. They're going to ban out the Ancient Apparition, which of course Ice Blast would prevent any kind of healing coming out from Chen's Hand of God and a potential mech that he would pick up. And they're also going to ban out Sniper, which I didn't mention in those top picks that were still left in the draft, but Sniper will get removed. So he's gone. And man, that would have been a scary lineup if Top 5 had Lion, Jug, and Sniper. Oh my. But Top 5 is going to ban out there too, as it's going to be Storm Spirit and Clockwork. So 2 heroes that are really strong at closing the gap. And I wonder why they're electing to go with that. Maybe they're protecting a certain pick? So I think of, I have to go back to those heroes that are really strong in the current meta. And right now I think Lena is still a strong potential for them to pick up.
5 seconds remaining.
Storm is one of the heroes that could potentially do okay against Lena in the mid lane.
Reserve time.
I mean, Clock is pretty good at stopping her as well. If he can jump on her and have the battery assault going, she actually can't get a cast off. She just keeps like raising her hands and just keeps getting stunned and stunned and stunned and stunned. So both those heroes are actually quite strong against her. So maybe that's why they elected to remove them. At first glance, you'd say, well, they've already got an OD. You just park the OD mid against the Lina, and the OD will surely win that lane. But it actually doesn't play out that way. Despite the fact that OD typically dominates other ints in the mid lane, Lina's really strong at pushing the lane and pushing her creeps onto your tower and putting you under your tower. And OD actually really struggles against heroes that can push like that. On top of that, Lina's got the extra range over most, well, actually pretty much overall, with the exception of Sniper, ranged heroes. And that allows her to stay a little bit further back in the lane, which makes it a lot harder for OD to step up and get the... I want to call it banished, but I know it's not actually called that. I think it's imprisonment? Yes. Astral imprisonment. So I forgot the astral, but...
Tidehunter.
Yeah, so Tidehunter is going to be the pick for top 5, and they took a lot of time, going all the way down to 16 seconds left of their reserve time. But that's going to give them a quite formidable offlaner. And you already see that Groovy Gaming has picked up a Chen, so you know they're going to be sitting in the jungle with that. And that's going to allow you to be a little bit more greedy with your offlaner. Although Tide isn't the greediest pick, but in terms of how he's going to be able to play, that means he's effectively going to be able to reach his core, his Arcane Boots, and his Blink Dagger much faster than a typical Tidehunter going in the offlane against a traditional tri-lane. So you know he's going to be able to play a little bit more aggressive in that sense, but you do have to be careful because, I mean, you can't commit too much to relying on your Tidehunter to be able to get that Blink Dagger up quickly in terms of how you finish out your draft, because there is still a potential for Groovy Gaming to lock out a Tidehunter in that top lane. I don't think they're going to specifically cater their draft to do so, but top 5 always has to keep that in mind. Viper was the pick for Groovy Gaming, and that's going to give them 2 pretty strong solo laners. Viper and OD. What's interesting is that they can actually switch these and put them in whichever lane they want, whether they want the OD mid in the Viper safe lane, or swap it around, put the OD mid put the Viper mid in the OD safe lane. I forget which way I said it the first time, but the second way is supposed to be the opposite. Top 5 going to go Sand King, so they say, you know what, we see your Chen jungle, and we're going to pick a jungling support as well. That's going to be the Sand King, so they have a really strong support duo. It's also going to give them sufficient wave clear as well. I mentioned that way back, and well, they got some in Sand King. They've also got some in Tidehunter. Rubik, terrific pickup from Groovy Gaming. Of course, Rubik being able to steal, I mean, almost anything from top 5 is pretty good. Probably the worst thing that you could steal is going to be, I mean, Tidehunter's Anchor Smash or Gush, but like, you can steal Earth Spike, Hex, Finger are all going to be valuable to you. Spin, not so much, but Healing Ward's really good, Omni Slash is really good. Gush isn't the worst thing in the world. Ravage is pretty reliable for you to steal it, assuming you're not like way behind on the Rubik. If you can get some kind of movement or mobility enhancing item like a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff, you should reliably be able to steal Ravage every time unless your positioning is really off. And then on top of that, anything you can get from Sand King, the Burrow Strike, the Darude Sandstorm, and the Epicenter are all very stealable and very, very strong for Rubik. Epicenter is probably one of those ones that's a little bit more difficult to steal. But if Rubik finds himself in a position to not only interrupt the Sand King when he's channeling Epicenter, that means he's also going to steal the Epicenter. So that would be absolutely gigantic for Groovy Gaming. I think probably the most valuable spell for Rubik to be stealing early on is going to be the Burrow Strike. Moving forward, you want to be looking at either the Ravage or the Finger. Epicenter is a little bit harder for you to actually jump in the fight with it. But yeah, I think Ravage is probably number 1 on that list, but Finger wouldn't be bad either. So we got our final 2 bans, and that's going to be Phoenix getting banned out by top 5, so they're removing a strong offlaner, and Groovy Gaming will remove the Lina. So removing the possibility of that Lina going in the mid lane and them having to deal with that in some way, whether it's the OD or the Viper. And that means top 5 is actually going to go with Razor.
Remaining.
So they're, well, actually, Razor's a hero that does quite well
5
against both those
seconds
mid
remaining.
heroes. You can put him mid against the OD, or you can put him mid against the Viper, and he's going to do quite well.
Reserve
He's
time.
typically one of the stronger counters to OD in the mid lane. To Viper, he does okay in that lane. It's kind of a wash, in my
seconds
opinion.
remaining.
Some people would say that's favored one way or another. I think it's actually pretty damn
5
even.
seconds remaining.
So I don't think there's any real advantage there. We'll just have to see how they choose to lane it. And they're going to round out their roster with a Nature's Prophet. So there's a lot of push potential coming up from Groovy Gaming. They actually don't have much wave clear in the sense of... I mean, they've got Rubik Fade Bolt. Besides that, they've got Nature's Prophet ult. And there's not too much besides that. I don't see top 5 as being really push-oriented. I do feel that they are a very strong pick-off and team fight team, and they're going to look to push towers on the back of an advantage. So it's not like Groovy Gaming is really going to find themselves in a position where they're going to try and be wave clearing because there's just going to be so much pressure from all the lanes. I feel like they're typically going to find themselves in the driver's seat trying to push, have the lanes constantly on their opponent.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's just a matter of them not getting picked off and not finding
seconds
themselves
remaining.
engaging in these huge team fights where those big ultimates coming out from top 5, the Ravage, the Epicenter, the Omni, the Finger, all those things are going to be very, very difficult for them to deal with. Well, we're in game and we're directly into a pause because that's what competitive Dota 2 is all about. But it was a short one, so we're going to be able to enjoy this game a little bit sooner. We've got, on the Radiant side, we've got Team QQQ. They're going by top 5. And playing their Sand King is going to be their drafter. That's going to be Shanks. Playing the Juggernaut is going to be Shrivel Your Cock. I have a feeling I'm probably just going to either call him Shrivel or Juggernaut going forward this game, but who knows. I sometimes call players nothing even remotely similar to their name because I'm weird. And, well, sometimes I just forget. We've got Burning DD playing the Razor. He's going to be, looks like he's going in the mid lane as predicted. We've got Whatever playing the Lion. And we've got AJ playing the off-lane Tidehunter. On the Dire side, we have Team Groovy Gaming. And, ooh, we may have a Nature's Prophet finding himself in a little bit of a bad position. But, he's only going to get hit a few times by the Juggernaut's,
30
sword
seconds to
sword
battle.
there. Shanks trying to wrap around to go on him. He actually did pick up Bro Strike first. So he does already have that. But let's continue introducing the players. So on the Dire side, it is Team Groovy Gaming. Playing their Chen is going to be Luisa Arista. Hope I'm not butchering that. We've got Marik playing the Viper. And we've got Soot. I believe that's Soot playing the Rubik.
The
Looks
battle
like
begins.
Groovy Gaming has definitely gotten the position here on the top rune, electing to give that bounty rune to the Chen. And we've got 2 more heroes to introduce. Playing the Outworld Devourer is Altair, and that offlane Nature's Prophet, which we almost saw get caught out placing a Sentry Ward to block up the camps, is going to be Joyrina. Once again, hopefully I'm not butchering that. He's going to be starting with Boots first. Besides that, we've got Boots first on the Razor, which is already getting a strong link off onto the OD. But he's going to have to retreat and not be able to dive the tower there. And besides that, we already saw the Boots first on Shanks on the Sand King. Let's quickly situate ourselves with the lane. It is an off-lane Tidehunter. He's going up against the Viper, the Rubik, and of course Chen's going to be in the jungle. Mid lane is going to be Razor going up against OD, and this should be a Razor favored lane. Basically what's going to happen is Razor's going to run at him, get a link off, OD's going to banish him or imprison him to, well, stop him from running at him with a link on, and he's going to, it's not really happening yet, but he's going to essentially get purged because of unstable current. And that's going to slow down the OD, so the imprisonment isn't really going to last that long, and he's going to, so the link is going to continue to sap damage, and he's going to be able to steal more. AJ finding himself in a little bit of trouble up here in the top lane. He's going to lose a lot of his HP, but look at all his starting items. He has 9 tangos to start and a salve, so he knew he was going to be getting harassed quite a bit. And let's hop down to the bottom lane. We got Nature's Prophet going up against Lion, Juggernaut, and then of course in the jungle we've got that Sand King. Top rune. There's a little battle for it, as it's going to be an illusion rune and Louisa Aristi. I don't know. We'll figure that one out as we go along. Is going to get that. It's just an illusion rune on the Chen. Not the biggest thing in the world, but it does help accelerate his farm. And, well, anything that you can get to accelerate your farm as a jungler is always welcome. And despite the fact that Chen is probably one of the fastest farming junglers in the game, he'll still accept anything that's going to make him farm up a little bit quicker. As we will wait to see what he's going to pick up, but I imagine he's going to be going for a mech to help them push. AJ rotating away from the top lane, and I'm just taking a look over at chat here, and S says, "What the fuck? Why is this frozen?" I'm not showing that it's frozen for me. Maybe try refreshing. I'll actually type that in chat so he doesn't have to wait. Sorry about that. We do have a rotation here to the mid lane, as Chen's going to be coming in with the Rubik, and Burning DD is going to be lifted and tossed back in, but there comes Shanks. He's going to try and get a Burrow Strike off, but he's going to get imprisoned. We're going to have our first blood of the game, as it's going to be the Rubik that's going to go down. Chen's going to go down as well, and they're going to look to get a third, as they're going to chase down Altair, but that's not going to happen. The big bird is going to be trying to get some body blocks off there, and, well, I think they realized that they were going to have to go a little too deep for that kill on Altair, and, well, Burning DD had a... He was missing quite a bit of his HP, and, well, Shanks was missing some of his as well. And you know what? They already got not only first blood, but they got a second kill on top of that. So there's no reason to really push your advantage too much and kind of risk it. Well, hopefully everything's working out for NF09 there in chat. I'm going to actually refresh my other page and make sure that everything is really good on my side. Yeah, it looks fine to me right now. I don't know, hopefully any issues you have will get cleared up. I missed a kill in the top lane. We had Marique getting a kill onto AJ. And that's going to be the first one on the board for Groovy Gaming. And that's actually... I actually think that's kind of an easy death when you're the Tidehunter going up against the Viper. You're trying to get as much as you can. Like I said, you're looking to potentially play a little bit greedy on that Tidehunter, because you know the fact that there's a Chen in the jungle, and you want to try to get as much as you can, get that Ravage up faster by, well, just hitting 6 a little bit quicker. But also you're trying to maybe get a few last hits here or there to help facilitate that Blink Dagger timing. But your main concern is XP, and well, he didn't start with boots first, and it took him, he actually just picked up his boots back in base, I believe. But it's very easy to find yourself getting caught out against the Viper, especially once Viper hits level 6 and he has Viper Strike available to him. He has phase boots as well, so he's got a huge move speed advantage over you. And like I said, it's very easy to get caught out by that. And, well, pretty much once that timing hits, Tide has to almost abandon the top lane and go farm up the Ancients, which he was just doing. But now he's going to make his way back up into the top lane as Groovy Gaming, like I said in the draft, was going to look to try and push. And, well, Shanks comes up. He was one of their important hero pickups that's going to give them quite a bit of wave clear. So he's going to come up, drop the Darude Sandstorm. But those 2 tornadoes coming out from the Chen is going to make... Well, it's going to just make him take a bunch of damage and have him back up.
Radiant's top tower is
Eth, you're still saying I've got tons of problems. I don't know. I think it's something just on your end. Everything on my end says that everything is going fine. I haven't dropped any frames. I'm not lagging. I've got another page open, and it seems to be running fine. So I don't know what to tell you. If it is actually an issue on my end, I don't know. But we're going to see Altair go down here. We do have some TPs coming in from both the Rubik and the Viper. Looks like they're at least going to get one kill here. But I think they're going to try to get another onto Burning DD. He has stolen a lot of damage, and that's going to allow him to get the kill onto Giodarini. But he will go down. Marik getting the kill. So it is a 2-for-2 trade in the end. But you have to say that that's got to... I mean, I think it's advantage top 5 as they forced out 2 TPs to respond to that play just from the 2 of them. And, well, if 2 of your opponents are TPing, that's 4 heroes coming to the mid lane while you only have 2. And that means you've got essentially 2 heroes on your team free farming and most likely a 1v1 matchup. That wasn't exactly how it worked out, but basically you've just got more people available to be farming while all that's going on. I'm a little nervous about having some problems here, so I will actually check again, so bear with me. Everything looks fine.
I was meant to have this.
Alright guys, sorry about that.
Radiant's bottom tower
Trying to
is
help
under attack.
NF09 out. As well, unfortunately, it
Dyer's
doesn't
middle
look like it's an
tower is
issue on
under
my
attack.
end. If it is, I really
Dyer's
apologize.
structures
But
are
there's nothing I
fortified.
have available to me that's going to
Radiant
that's
structures
showing that
are
I have
fortified.
issues. No drop frames. I even have a version of the stream open right now just
Radiant's
to check,
bottom tower is under
and
attack.
it seems to be running smoothly. Well, we're gonna have another push coming out from Groovy Gaming, and they're going to take their second
Radiant's
tier 1
bottom
tower of the
tower
game.
has
So now they've
fallen.
taken both top and bottom tier 1 towers. And I mean, this is expected. This is what Groovy Gaming needed to do. They needed to start snowballing on the tower gold that they were going to get from tier 1s. And they've already done so. They've already taken 2 tier 1s, and I think the next tier 1 in the mid lane is going to be potential, but we're going to have a fight before then as Luisa Aristi is going to walk right into 4 heroes from top 5. He's going to get started with a nice bro strike from Shanks, and that's going to help them get the kill there. But I think the next target for Groovy Gaming is definitely going to be this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. I also think the top tier 2 is going to be vulnerable and potential for them to pick up as well. Once you go beyond that, it's a little bit more difficult taking towers against top 5. And it's going to, I think what we're going to see is they're going to go for that mid tier 1, then they're going to swing up top, not directly swing up top, they're going to go take that tier 2, and then they're going to really start clamping down on the jungle and taking over the Radiant jungle and parking Chen in there, and then just putting a ton of pressure on that bottom tier 2 and hopefully trying to chip away at it and maybe even potentially set up a Roche. But that remains to be seen. We'll see if Groovy Gaming looks to actually take that route. As top 5's been doing quite well as well. They certainly haven't fallen behind. They've gotten good farm thus far. They've got level 6 on their Tidehunter, and they're going to get a decent amount of gold on him once he's able to burn through that ancient stack. He only has 260 gold on hand, but he's already got his arcane boots, so that's just basically 2,000 away from his blink dagger, and there's a lot of gold to be had in that ancient stack. But we've got Soot and Luisa Aristi looking to
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
to kind of limit that Tidehunter and his ability to farm, as the two of them have smoked up, and they're looking to come right to the top lane, go up against AJ, who
Dyer's
almost
bottom tower is
almost
under
hung
attack.
out there a little too long, but he will back in time, or will he? Oh yeah, he's playing it so cautious, staying right at this tier 2. He's going to throw out an anchor smash to
Radiant's top
get a
tower
last
is
hit
under
there,
attack.
but Soot and Luisa Aristi not able to get an
Dyer's
opening there,
bottom tower
and that's
is
going to be
under
the end of their
attack.
smoke. And now they're going to try to wrap around onto mid. Burning DD needs to be careful. I don't think they know that whatever is here, Burning DD will get lifted. Giordarini will TP in, and Burning DD does have a decent sized link off. Oh no, he doesn't actually. Never mind, he got interrupted and it got broken. And he's going to go down before pretty much he's able to do anything. We did lose Chen in the process. Shanks just sitting here in his... oh, and getting a nice bro strike off to Marik, who will get banished. Nice play from Altair there to help his teammate. Shrivel's going to stand directly on top of him, trying to get the kill, but he's not able to do so. Marik surviving with just one more auto attack necessary, but he will get healing salved up. Not sure who used that on him. Maybe it was him using it on himself. Altair will find a target and banish it up. But I don't think... Actually, they might be able to get a kill and whatever. They need one more auto attack. Nope, not going to happen. So they'll just back up and just accept this tier 1 tower that's available to them. As it should go down before anyone on top 5 is able to get in deny range. Burning DD was trying to get there in time, but unfortunately not able to do so. Now Groovy Gaming will fall back a little bit, get their HP and mana up. They maybe recover a few of their ultimates and then look to push again. As this top tier 2 tower, I imagine, is going to be the next target. They still don't have level 6 on the Chen, and that's going to be a little concerning. They really want that Hand of God, especially if they're going to get into fights like they just did, where it's actually going to be a team fight. They really need Hand of God available to them. They did lose their Chen almost immediately in that fight, so I don't think Hand of God would have been that valuable to them, but it's still always nice to have. Altair getting caught out there as he went up and banished Shrivel, and then getting caught out by 3 heroes. I think it's all started with a nice bro strike from Shanks, and that just allowed whatever to get in position to not only land an Earth Spike, but also give him the finger bang and claim another kill for top 5. And let's see just how much gold Groovy Gaming has managed to acquire with these tier 1 towers as we take a look at the net worth. And, well, they have acquired quite a bit of gold through the acquisition of those tier 1s, but it is top 5 leading the way, but it's only 750 gold advantage to them. Oh my goodness, that was so close. Nature's Prophet almost going down there. Shrivel just slicing him down, but unfortunately not able to get the kill there. He didn't have mana for an Omni Slash, so he couldn't use that to interrupt the TP from the Nature's Prophet, and as a result he doesn't get the kill. We've got an interesting pickup, as we've got OD has picked up the mech for Groovy Gaming, and that means Chen isn't picking it up. He does have a Hedgers on hand. I wonder if that's going to be maybe a pipe, although we typically don't see people pick up pipe almost at all anymore. But then again, we also don't see people pick up mech too often either, as mech is typically an item that you pick up in more push-oriented games and push-oriented metas, and we don't really see that too much. However, we do see it this game from Groovy Gaming, so it's definitely the right pickup for them to take. I don't think anyone on top 5 is going to be picking up a mech. Never mind, Razor's already picked it up. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was saying that we're probably not going to see one of them pick it up, but it may not have been a bad idea, but, well, it was a good idea, and they did pick it up, as Razor has already picked that up. We saw our first tier 1 tower go down in favor of top 5, and that's going to be in the bottom lane. Actually, I feel a little lag in my Dota 2 here. Now I'm even more paranoid about any potential problems with the stream, but I think it's just lag regarding Dota 2. I will actually look to restart everything here in at the end of this game, and hopefully we won't have any further problems. Well, we've got 4 heroes grouping for top 5 here. That's my god, I'm definitely getting some lag here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna tab in and out here, and I'm just gonna recapture. Alright, I'm not sure if that'll help, but we've got a smoky gank, or we got a smoke here from top 5. 4 of them smoked up. 1 hero isn't. That's going to be Shrivel. Whatever was actually leading the way, and he's going to get spotted out. That smoke's going to get popped by Altair, and we're going to see top 5 get initiated on by a potential pincer maneuver, but Groovy Gaming's actually going to back up. They're a little disorganized with this engage, and they're going to retreat before they get too committed. Altair will take the opportunity to run in and bottle up that illusion room. While all that was going on, we had the Nature's Prophet pushing the bottom tier 2 tower to put some pressure on it. But by the time everyone from top 5 rotated down to deal with it, he just hops up into the top lane. Not only is he defending a tier 1 tower, but he's going to start farming up here and start that lane pushing. And ideally, what they just did in the bottom lane, how they drew all the heroes to respond to the Nature's Prophet, they now want to do that in the top lane and force either top 5 to respond and defend this tier 2 tower, or, well, just let Groovy Gaming take it. And basically, once they see a response from top 5, once they see those heroes slide up into the top lane to protect that tier 2 tower, well, that's when Roche becomes available to them. So look for the Nature's Prophet to put a lot of pressure on in the top lane, and Chen making sure that he's got a good size army so that they can take down Roche pretty quickly. They actually don't have that much right click to help them burn through Roche's HP that quickly. A lot of it's actually going to be on the back of Nature's Prophet at this point in the game. But you can see he wasn't able to quite push out the lane too far, as there was already some response coming over. Part of that's going to be Shanks, as he's coming over. This Observer Ward giving them a lot of vision on Shanks' rotation, but it will go down in about 15 seconds, so they won't have that to their... Well, they just won't have that vision available to them. Let's take another look at the gold graph. As you can see, top 5 maintaining their lead out to almost 2,000 gold now. So it seems like when we're in these moments where there aren't any towers being taken, there isn't too much fighting going on, it's just kind of farming. It seems like top 5 has a slight edge in their ability to farm the map right now.
Illusion.
Let's take a quick look through all the heroes and see what they've got. We've already got that Blink Dagger up for Shanks. Looks like he's going to... Well, he's got a Ring of Regen and a Ring of Protection. That's going to be his Tranquil Boots, so he's actually not going to have Mana Boots, Arcanes on this Sand King. We're going to see actually Groovy Gaming. This is more important, as they're going to move into Roche Pit, and they're going to start beating down Roche. They actually... Top 5 doesn't have any vision of them walking in. They do now. As, well, they're going to look to engage. They do have a Blink Dagger up on the Tidehunter. Look for him to jump. As he maybe could have jumped onto the heroes up here from Groovy Gaming. I'm not sure if they saw Marique and
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Jordarini. Man, I'm struggling with that one. I don't think they saw them exit out this way. Had they done that, they would have seen that there was, well, Groovy Gaming was completely split. I think there was a big advantage to go on there, but they mustn't have seen the Viper and Nature's Prophet go out that way, because that was a sure engagement there for top 5 that they didn't take. Well, they're when they're not fighting and there's not any towers being taken down, like I said, top 5 pulling ahead slightly, so they don't really have to risk it with an engage. As whatever's going to do a little counter warding here as he takes down that Observer Ward. As well, we can keep going through the heroes here, as well, Sand King's going to be delivering those Tranquils right now, as Shanks is going to complete that. What does our Juggernaut have? Well, he's got a Mask of Madness, an S&Y, and 1,700, 1,800, 1,900 gold on hand. So look to see what he picks up next.
Dire's top tower.
Our Razor's got his mech. He's also got a Maelstrom recipe, and just waiting to finish that with the Mithril Hammer, which he has just picked up now. As you see Groovy Gaming in the pit one more time. I'm going to go through the heroes on the Radiant side still. As we take a look at this, we've got a Lion with just Tranquils and a set of wards, and here we go. Look for AJ to jump in, and he's going to jump in. There comes the Ravage. It's going to land on 3. There's 2 heroes caught outside, and they're going to now try to engage, as they're going to get a lift off, but Jugs already managed to slice through 2 heroes. Shanks with a nice Burrow Strike, going to catch both Soot and Jordarini, and now Marika's going to get caught in a Sprout, actually. But he was pretty much dead to rights anyway, so I don't think there was any way that he was going to get out of there. So the only 2 heroes for Groovy Gaming that managed to get out of there alive are the 2 that weren't in the Roche Pit and getting caught by that Ravage. And now top 5 claims that Roche, and they're actually going to put the Aegis up on their Tidehunter, which is an interesting hero to choose to put that on. I would have expected maybe them to put it on Jug, but that could have actually just been a misclick from AJ picking it up. Or not. Well, we're not actually sure on that. You never know. I think Jug probably would have been the better option. But maybe they've got something planned for this Tidehunter. What they do have planned is to continue pushing with that slight advantage that they just took. They don't have their ultimates available to them, but they sense that they can take this tier 1 tower, and ooh, they're going to force out a glyph. And with a bunch of TP response, they will successfully defend their tower, but they're not going to deny it. It's going to go down to the catapult. It was left at 6 HP, but they didn't deny it. Whatever will go down, so he will get picked off. But that tower not getting denied. Slight little mistake there from Groovy Gaming. And that's going to give top 5 just that extra little bit of gold. As, wow, you can see that last fight and the tower. As well, it's actually 2 towers, right? Because they took the tier 1 tower in the top lane right before that as well.
Top tower is under attack.
So you can see them pull ahead to over 7,500 gold lead. And here we go. Shanks with the epicenter, blinks in, gets a burrow strike onto 2. We're going to try to focus down Altair, who will actually banish himself. AJ's in the middle, but doesn't have Ravage available to him. Keep in mind, he is the one with the Aegis. We're going to see Shanks go down as Shrivel's looking to engage. Omni Slash just coming off cooldown now, but AJ is going to go down. He will respawn with that Aegis. And now Shrivel looking to get a good Omni Slash off. He will find the Nature's Prophet, getting him a kill there. And they'll keep chasing forward as they get the kill onto Soot. Now they're going to look for the kill on Marik. Marik desperately running for his life. Phase Boot's just coming up now. He will get sent back home by the Chen, who I think is going to be the one who will go down in the end. So it's Marik who got sent back to the fountain, and Altair as the 2 heroes that managed to survive there. But like I said, top 5, they're going to look to team fight or get some pickoffs. And well, we just saw the team fight, and on the back of that, they're going to look to take some towers off that advantage, and we're going to see them hack and slash down a tier 2 tower here, and there's pretty much no way that Groovy Gaming is going to be able to defend that. And now top 5 will just say, okay, well, we got that, let's back up and keep farming and not overstep our bounds.
Uproot and after them.
And they just had Ravage come off cooldown. They're going to wait for Epicenter before they try to do anything else. Actually, no, sorry, Omni Slash is going to be the longest cooldown left. But once they have all those up, they're definitely not going to shy away from a fight. They'll be willing to engage as long as they're able to do so in a manner that would be advantageous to them. Well, looks like AJ is going to be going straight into a refresher on that Tidehunter, and I guess rightfully so. We've got Whatever, who's managed to pick up a Staff of Wizardry, not going for a Blink Dagger this game, instead going for most likely the Force Staff. It could be a Yule's, but most likely the Force Staff. We have not only that Maelstrom finished, but now a Mjolnir finished by Burning DD. Shrivel has picked up 2 Ultimate Orbs, so he's going for a Scotty, and that's almost finished. He actually has enough gold right now to finish it. And Shanks looks like he's going for a Yule Scepter. On the Dire side, we've got Soot with, well, just Arcanes and an Urn, not too much on that Rubik. Once again, he's really got to look for a kind of mobility item to help him steal those Ravages. Marik opting to go with both a Crimson Guard and a Hood of Defiance, so a really tanky Razor, or Viper right now. Altair with that Mech and a Force Staff, which just flew in right now. And Marik was actually finishing a pipe there. Jordarini has his Necro 3, but that's pretty much it. He's got Phase and 1,400 gold. And Luisa Aristi has, well, he's just picked up the medallion on Chen. It looks like this headdress is not really going to build into anything, as they've already got both a mech and a pipe on their side. Whatever, hanging out here in the top lane looking for a pick, and they're going to go for the Furion, but oh, they're going to step right past the Chen, but Furion was actually already TPing on out of there, so he wasn't really going to be that vulnerable. And we still see a little bit of a cautious moment for both teams here, as they just kind of sit around and farm up the map, waiting for maybe a little bit of timing coming out for one of their heroes. I'm not sure what that would be. As well, we've got a Yule's potentially coming out from the Sand King soon. We've got that Scotty just finished.
That should help.
Refresher's not that far away, just needing the recipe for the Tidehunter. Shrivel with a spin will TP away. As, there's really no way that Groovy Gaming can interrupt a spin TP. As for the Dire side, there's nothing coming out soon for them. So they're definitely not waiting for timing, unless it's on the back of some hero levels. But once again, they're not really that close to any hero levels. They've already hit 11 on 3 of their heroes. They're not that close to 16 on those heroes, and they've got 2 heroes that are still stuck at level 8, so not that close to hitting level 11. So they're not going to be getting any kind of timing window there. And I think Groovy Gaming is just in a little bit of an awkward spot. We take a look at the gold graph. They're down 12k. And now it's like, okay, well, we've kind of been this push-oriented team. We took our early towers, and now we're kind of in this little bit of a lull where we've been stopped. We can't team fight against them, and now we just kind of have to split. But we're kind of getting out-farmed as we look around the map. As we're going to see the Nature's Prophet to get Bro striked up, but he will just spread himself and TP away.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I said it earlier, Mr. Sizzo. I said the full name of Juggernaut earlier. And I even said that I'm probably just going to call him Shrivel or Jug moving forward, as it's a little shorter. But we are going to see Shanks using that Yules to help keep himself alive a little bit. But there comes the big hammer coming out from the OD, and that's going to claim them the kill there. They are going to pop the pipe and keep going after Burning DD, but there's a huge Blink Ravage, and we've got it stolen by Rubik as he's going to look to use it. There it comes out now. They've already lost their OD, but now they're going to try to focus down Shrivel Your Cock, who's now right on to Chen, and it's funny saying that in a team fight. AJ blinking forward, doesn't have that refresher up quite yet, but he's going to be able to, with the help of the Juggernaut, right-click down the Rubik, and now they're going to look to go after Marique, who... Whoa, actually nice Sprout coming out from Jodarini. Will catch 2, but they're going to lose whatever, and they're soon going to lose Marique as... Well, the last one left alive will TP away, and that's going to leave Shrivel with a godlike streak. I believe it was a godlike streak. Maybe it was a monster kill. I don't even know. Well, he's 9-0. Not beyond godlike yet. One more kill for that. But another fight going the way of top 5. That was a little bit closer than we've seen some of the other fights, as it was just 2 heroes left on top 5 and 1 left on Groovy Gaming. But still, no towers getting claimed, and you have to respect the fact that we're going to have a Refresher Orb coming out. In fact, that's flying in right now on the courier. So yeah, AJ is going to be able to get at least 1 Ravage off every fight, maybe even 2. Soot will look to steal it. He did a really good job positioning himself perfectly on the Rubik to steal that Ravage last time around. It's a lot easier with a mobility item, but it is possible when you don't have a mobility item to steal it every time, but your positioning has to be spot on. And Soot did that last fight, and he's going to look to do that in the next fight. As well, he doesn't really have a mobility item coming out anytime soon. Looks like they're electing to go with another Necro Book as Chen's building towards that, just looking for the recipe now, but that's quite a bit of ways in terms of gold. See an LOL coming out in chat. I have a feeling they just got to the team fight where I said it. Well, I've got a little bit of a longer pause here. I'm going to mute my mic just for a second to take a sip of water, and hopefully we won't be stuck waiting too long here. Well, looks like this this pause has been actually a little bit longer than I had hoped, so I'm actually going to toss it to some approaching Nirvana in the meantime. And, well, hopefully you stick with us. Hopefully this pause resumes relatively soon.
I will not forget this.
Back right in time for that that song to finish, and the pause was a little bit longer, but it wasn't that long. Had a little chat in chat with
Double
Mr.
damage.
Sizzle. They're just talking a little bit about the drafts coming out from the two teams, and the fact that Groovy Gaming elected to go with a push-oriented lineup, despite the fact that we're not really in a push meta anymore, and that doesn't mean it can't work. It's just, and that doesn't mean their draft was bad in any way, but top 5 just picking a pretty damn good draft to counter it. They recognized the fact that there was the potential for a push here and a little bit of a vulnerability in Groovy
Dire's
Gaming's
bottom
lineup,
tower
so
is under
they
attack.
picked strong team fighting heroes that weren't greedy, that weren't too greedy,
Haste.
and well, it's paying off for them. They, on top of that, top 5 didn't make those mistakes that were necessary for Groovy Gaming. Well, I wouldn't say necessary, but that would have really helped Groovy Gaming just completely
Dire's bottom
snowball
tower
off
is under attack.
the towers. And
Dire's bottom
if you're not
tower
getting
has
picked off, it
fallen.
makes it a little bit hard. It's always difficult when you're playing a push-oriented lineup to breach the high ground. And top 5 actually did a terrific job of making sure that they weren't even
Dire's
able
bottom
to take
tower
the
is
tier
under
2s.
attack.
And now it's actually top 5, the ones on the aggression, as we're going to see Force Staff getting used onto Shrivel, and he'll get imprisoned up. So he will lose a little bit of ints temporarily. Now he'll spin and TP away, and well, now they're going to back up. It looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication there, as they will all back away as they're going to be on the run. Groovy Gaming's going to try and chase. They will get a sprout off on the whatever, so it looks like they will get 1 kill. Never mind, as whatever gets the TP off without them being able to interrupt at all. So no one's going to get picked off by top 5. And every time I make a comment like this, it seems like there always seems to be something changing to potentially make me wrong. But that actually doesn't happen this time around.
With me.
Looks like we got a new face in the chat, Miss Scruffy, or Mr. Scruffy. I think it's Mr. Scruffy. Welcome to the channel. As we've got a little bit of a stalemate here, as well, top 5 will just put themselves in a good position. And actually, they're going to smoke up and look to re-engage back into Groovy Gaming, who tried to take over the Radiant Jungle, but now they're going to be on the retreat. The closest one is going to be this OD. He's going to TP away. And I don't think they're going to be able to catch anyone else. They will hop into Roche Pit, though, while they've got the opportunity. There is an Observer Ward here, but as long as they're in the pit, that Observer Ward will not see them. There is going to be a creep that's going to walk down here, and it's going to walk into the Roche Pit. Shanks will stun it up, and whatever will CC it as well. So it doesn't even get the chance to step into the Roche Pit, but Roche is going to be down anyways. Aegis this time going on Burning DD.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
We see that bottom tier 2 finally going down. So it wasn't the top tier 2 that was going to go down first. It's the bottom tier 2, but top 5 now smacking away at this mid tier 3, and it's going down pretty damn quick. Groovy Game is going to have to look to defend this in some way soon enough, but they have to keep in mind there's a double Ravage on AJ available to them. They need to rely on Soot to get that steal on the Ravage. There comes the first one. It's going to catch 4, and he's right on top of Soot. There comes the second. There's going to be no steal this time around, as they just get completely wiped. 3 heroes down for Groovy Gaming that quickly. AJ with 2 terrific Ravages there, and that's going to be our first set of racks going down. Meanwhile, we've lost to tier 3 in the bottom lane, and looks like we're going to lose a set of racks down here as well. But top 5 says, screw racks, we're going tier 4s, we're going for the throne, as we're going to see our first tier 4 go down here. It's going to force out a buyback from Soot. And top 5 will actually back up as a result of that. They still had 2 more buybacks available, one on the Chen and one on the OD. And it ends up just being a trade of racks. Yeah, top 5 got a tier 4 as well, but you have to say that actually worked out okay for Groovy Gaming. I mean, they really want to be the ones dictating the pace of the game at this point, and they're not so, but they found a way to at least trade racks for racks, and that's always a good trade to take when you're in a situation where you're not winning team fights. So, with a little bit of ratting coming out from the Nature's Prophet, they were able to do so. And let's actually take a look at the gold graph as, well, it continues to go in top 5's favor as it's over 20k now. XP, not really that consequential at all, but 20k as well. AJ since picked up a 4-staff. What does Burning DD have? Well, he's got a BKB. He also has an Ogre Club on hand. And uh-oh, Nature's Prophet in a little bit of trouble here. He will spread himself, but there's no way he's going to be able to TP away with all those heroes beating away on him. So it is a pick-off. He does have buyback available to him, but we've got more action up here as Shrivel is running for his life. He's got 4 heroes chasing him. And he doesn't really have mana to do anything. He's already used spin. He's actually going to run. Yeah, look at the drawing on the map. They've already kind of planned his exit. And he's trying to buy time to distance himself. Ooh, Altair, nice TP. followed up by a Force Staff to make sure that he's able to interrupt that TP and does so just in time. So they are not only going to get the kill on the Juggernaut, but that's going to end the godlike streak. Altair fittingly gets the last hit there, so he's going to get the vast majority of the gold there. Now we'll buy Groovy Gaming a little bit of time. So now they know they're pretty much not going to get pushed in the next 70 to 80 seconds, as they're going to have to wait for that Jug to respawn. That's going to give them a little bit of space to help protect the lanes and set them up for a potential rat, as top 5 looks to, well, to close this one out. We got a Marik. Looks like he's going for an Egg Scepter on the Viper. Soot, still no mobility item for him, and that's going to be difficult. He does have Force Staff available to him from Altair, so they could look to try and set that up to Force Staff him in to get the steal and the Ravage, but it's going to be very, very difficult, as Altair can't really be sitting that far back to ensure that he doesn't get ravaged as well. Burning DD, flying in with the Courier. What is it going to be? It's going to be an Egg Scepter for the Razor. Okay, that's what the Ogre Club is for. Altair since picking up an Ultimate Orb, so looking to finish a Sheep Stick, I imagine. We've got a Courier flying in the remains of an Egg Scepter for the Viper, so he's going to have that available to him, and a lot of items coming out here. So we're going to see quite a different fight than we saw last time around. Although, oh, Marik getting a kill there onto whatever. Although, those items really aren't going to matter all that much if AJ can manage to get 2 absolutely gigantic Ravages off once again. So they have to look to somehow prevent that. There's also a gem up on Shanks now. And with those Boots of Travel, he's did a little defending in the top lane, maybe forced out a little bit of response, and he's just going to TP right to the bottom lane. And, well, we've got another set of Boots of Travel coming in from Shrivel, as he's going to TP down here as well. We've got Chen all the way up in the top lane, no TP. Marik does have one, and he'll use it. But Chen is a long way from home. He doesn't have access to Hand of God, so he's basically useless right now. It is going to be a 4v5, or 4v4, as we don't have a line available yet. And that's going to be an easy set of racks for top 5. And they knew exactly what they were doing there. They knew as soon as the Chen showed up there that he wasn't going to be able to do anything. They're looking for not only the Chen and the fact that he doesn't have a TP, but the fact that his creeps were up there as well. Even if Chen's able to TP, if he doesn't have his creeps, he's not really going to be able to do much. The creeps are going to go down pretty quickly in these fights anyways, but if he doesn't have them available to him at all, then, I mean, he's not really doing much. He's pretty much just an early and mid-game hero, and we're pretty much at the late game. So if he doesn't have his creeps, he's really not going to be able to do much at all. Now, there is a little bit of counterplay to prevent him from losing all of his creeps. He just doesn't have to have them all engaged and kind of can sit them back and bring them into the team fight after the Ravages come out in the epicenter. But it's almost like if you've waited for both those Ravages to come out and the epicenter, that you're almost having too late of an impact on the fight. You need to be able to get in there. But of course, if you have them in there, then they're getting stunned, so they're not able to help you out. So maybe he'll look to potentially do some kind of wraparound. He does have the one bird to potentially try and interrupt a Blink Dagger on the Sand King or even the Tide Hunter, but it's not the easiest thing in the world, as Shanks will look to position himself a little bit better. But we do have 4 heroes here for Groovy Gaming in the bottom lane, and we see all the heroes are top 5 up in the top lane, and they're going to look to push this top tower, break the tier 3, and also get that set of racks. And if they're able to do so, or maybe they're able to start a fight, which they're hoping to win with those big Ravages, then they can just say, okay, well, we'll swing bottom and take that racks, or maybe we'll just push and end the game. But it is going to be a fight here, as the tier 3 is going to go down. Trying to keep an eye on AJ here as he's sitting back, looking for a Ravage. I think the opportunity is now, as he's going to blink in. He's going to use the first Ravage, and that's going to allow them to get a kill onto the Furion. They're also going to get a kill onto Altair. There was a steal, but it is just on an Anchor Smash. It came out a little bit too late from Soot. Now they're going to look to focus down Marik and Jordarini. Jordarini is going to go down. Now Marik's going to go down as another terrific epicenter, followed by a Burrow Strike coming out from Shanks. And with just the Rubik alive, Groovy Gaming will call
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
the GG.
Radiant victory.
So we are going to see top 5, or if you're following the brackets, QQQ advance to the next round. This was the quarterfinals, so we're on our way to the semis. Every series is going to be a best of 1 tonight, so we've got 2 games left in store for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. Once again, I'm Niz, and if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome, but hit that follow button, twitch.tv/NizCast. I appreciate the follows. We're almost at 100 followers, so that's awesome. It's my first big milestone, I guess, so I'm looking forward to hitting that. But you can also follow me on Twitter at NizCast, where I tweet about all the stuff that I'm casting and all that stuff. And you can also follow on YouTube, youtube.com/NizCast, where I take all the VODs from the games that I casted the previous night and upload them onto YouTube. So those should be up within 24 hours. They're typically up by tomorrow morning, but I like to give myself a little leeway by calling it 24 hours. But like I said, we've got 2 more games to cast, so I'm going to try and hop into that next lobby. And I'm going to throw it to some Approaching Nirvana in the meantime. And hopefully you'll stick with us for those other 2 games, because they should be good.